What is the big deal with heels?
Dawn, how could you ask that question?
What does it mean? Okay.
What?
I'm Dominic Damaski, and this is Discovering Inspiration. Today we are going to meet Jenny Lynn, a health and beauty consultant, a social media guru, an online beauty maven, and a positive thinker. Jenny is a loving wife and empowerment coach. She is a strong woman who smiles in the face of adversity.
When you walk into a room with the right pair of shoes, this sends a different message than a pair of Crocs.
What does it say?
It just sounds confident, professional, in charge. Like, you walk differently when you walk in with these than when you walk in with flip-flops or tennis shoes. So the right pair of shoes can make an outfit, they can make an attitude. I think it's really about that. You have the right lipstick, the right outfit, you have the right outfit, just like sports. You have the right uniform, you feel like you're gonna play better.
I wish I could wear some makeup. Why is makeup so empowering?
So, I guess it can just, physically it can cover blemishes and bruises and scars. I have a lot of women that have old scars or old acne scars or maybe different skin disorders that they're getting embarrassed about or self-conscious about. Just cover that up or change it, they're going to feel better. But what we like to teach about makeup is that it's not about covering your flaws, but accenting your positives. It's like if you have great lips, play up your lips. So you want to pay more attention to accenting what's good rather than worrying about covering up what's bad.
Jenny, I follow you on Facebook, I follow you on YouTube, and you are super positive. And me, I'm always looking for inspiring people doing inspiring things. And some mornings, I know a lot of times you're talking to women about heels or about makeup. And when I hear the words you're saying, I'm so inspired by it. But I know things aren't always super positive. I know you've been through some adversity yourself. So how do you stay so positive when I know you've been through things that sometimes other people couldn't handle?
So I think it's those exact things that make me be positive because I've been so low that I'm so appreciative of the highs. And I've seen that you can get out of those situations and you will survive and you will keep going. And I just believe that life is ultimately good. And if you spread love and you hear me talk about the universe and good vibes, and if you spread love and send out good vibes, that's what's going to come back to you. And I always want to spread that message to other women who are in those same lows, worse, more. I never believe that anybody's woes are worse than someone else's because to us they're all horrible, inside. I want them to know that they can get out of it, they should get out of it, they have the right to get out of it, they're worthy of getting out of it. And I think, I always say, love the shit out of life. Like, just love life and it's gonna love you back. And I just love as hard as I can. Like, some people said after what I've been through, like, how do you love again? I'm like, how do you not? Like, what's the point? Because for so long, not that I was suicidal, but I just was like, what's the point? Like, if the world ended tomorrow, I was fine. This is what I say, I used to wake up every day and cry because I have to live my life. Now I wake up every day and cry because I get to live my life.
You mentioned people are reaching out to you.
Right.
Why do you think your story resonates so much with other women?
Well, I think it's that kind of like Me Too mentality that one, it's so, a lot of times we keep these stories about abuse or miscarriages or health or diseases or illness, we keep them bottled up because it's supposed to be personal. It's supposed to be intimate or you're supposed to be ashamed of it. And so I think one, people seeing me sharing it and seeing someone who they think you're just a normal person, but you're experiencing this too. And then I think it's maybe the hope that they see I came out the other side. That they see I came out better and I didn't end up some sad story in the newspaper or some sad book, or some sad movie. I came out on the other side better than it was before. So I think as always, every fairy tale, has that ending. And I feel I'm living that fairy tale ending now. So I think it's a message of hope that women can see I dealt with it, I came through it, and they want to see themselves in that position too.
As I said, I'm a fan. I watch the videos. I think it's cool. I like the vibe. So one of the videos I was watching, you were talking about teaching people how to teaching people how to treat you.
Okay.
And what does that mean? How do I teach somebody how to treat me?
So it's so funny you say that, because when I do my videos, like, I'm Italian and I'm emotional, and I do not plan, I do not write scripts, I don't write anything down. I just have this thing that I need to say, usually because it evolved from a conversation with someone. And I just go on my YouTube station and I just start talking, because that's when I feel I'm the most real, and that's when it gets deep and all that. But I've learned through my toxic relationships, through my career, just through friends and family, that how you accept to be treated is how you teach people to treat you. So you gotta set boundaries. You have to set boundaries with everything, with work, with friends, with family. And if you are accepting things of people, then that's how they're gonna treat you. But if you demand respect, if you demand equality, if you demand love and hope, then that's how, what you're going to get back. But if you let people walk all over you, just like at work, if you do every single thing your boss asks you of, or every time you cover your partner's butt,
Right.
but he's going to expect you to keep covering his butt. So you teach people how to treat you. One, by how you let them treat you, but more importantly, by how you treat others. So how you treat other people is how you're going to be treated back.
I love the concept.
Uh-huh.
I'm a big believer. You are a rock star. You walk in the room, like you mentioned about the heels, you're a rock star. So there's a story I always think about. It's about Kid Rock. And he was just starting out, the rapper Kid Rock. Mm-hmm. He's just starting out in the music industry. And he's starting to sell CDs. He borrows money. He's starting to sell them out of the back of his car. And then all of a sudden, he books a venue in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And he invites Hollywood to the venue. And so here's this guy. He's selling CDs out of the back of his car. But he believes in himself. So he sells out the whole venue.
Okay.
And now the agents and stuff, they come from Hollywood, and they're there to see Kid Rock. This up on the marquee, it says Kid Rock. This guy that hasn't made it yet, he's a star. So they walk in, the whole place is packed, and they say to him, how much money do you want? Because now, see the place packed, they believe it. He's walking in, he's believing in himself, he's the rock star. So they say, how much money do you want? And his answer to them is, I want Michael Jackson money. I want Michael Jackson. I see some of your posts, and I see these powerhouse beauties, mm-hmm. and I see you having some fun. So when you're down, when you're out, who do you turn to for support? People turn to you.
Right.
Who do you turn to?
Well, it's probably funny, because for the longest time, I don't think I really turned to anyone. That's how I was raised, was you don't really share your problems. You don't really, it's very personal. So I kind of just always solved them myself. I didn't go to my parents with my family problems till very late, right. Till it was too late. So I was always just taking care of it myself. And it's just how I was. But now, obviously I got my husband. He is great. I'm in a super great relationship now. He's awesome. And I turn to myself. I turn to God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But now I have all these women who, because of what we do, you make relationships that are way more than just surface. Like, when I go out with my friends now, we don't just say, what'd you do at work this week? It's like, what's your dream for the next 5 years?
Yeah,
like,
cool.
a totally different conversation. And when you start talking to that to people, you can go to them with anything, and they're going to be there to support you. Like, I have over 80 girls that work in my business with me, and I know stuff about them that I don't know about my best friend from high school. And it's crazy, because some of them I've only met online. I haven't even met some of them in person. But we know these amazing stories, and I know where they want to be tomorrow and in a year, next year. So, and we have a lot of fun. We're a very social group. We like to live life to the fullest and enjoy it and love. So, family, I'm very close to my family. I'm very open with them. I've learned to be open with my husband, open with my friends. Watch stuff from you. You got to go out and find who inspires you. So I think it's so funny when you say I'm inspiring, because I'm like, what?
I'm a big believer in putting yourself out there. And I always tell people, just even if it's a little bit, just
Right.
put yourself out there. First you dip your toe in the water, and that's the start. And you definitely put yourself out there. I saw you putting a needle that looked very large into your, is it your larynx? Tell me what's going
So,
on there.
yeah.
That's not something most people do.
Well, it's not me doing it. It is a professionally trained doctor.
Okay.
But shortly after my divorce, so 2007, so 2007, 2008, I started losing my voice. And I was misdiagnosed for years and years and years, but this is actually a pretty good voice for me right now. I do a vocal disorder called spasmodic dysphonia. Untreated, I either sound like I'm stuttering, I sound like I'm nervous, I sound like I'm sick, I have trouble talking. But I was diagnosed with spasmodic dysphonia by the hospital, UPMC Mercy, ear, nose, and throat specialist. They are amazing. If you have any issues, go to them. Treated by the #1 doctor for this. And I get shots every 3 to 4 months directly into my larynx. I get about 6 of them. And what it does is actually Botox, which is a poison and botulism. Botox is botulism. I get it injected directly into my voice box so that it freezes because it's spasmodic dysphonia. So my larynx spasms while I talk, which is why I have trouble.
Okay.
So the Botox freezes it so that I can't spasm. But after a while, after a couple months, just like other Botox, it wears off.
Wait a minute. Every couple months, you got to get that big shot again? What if you just say, forget it, that thing's too big?
So if I stop getting the shots, my voice will get worse and worse and worse. Either it'll go to the point where I can't get out a word because it's just a big stutter, or it gets real whispery and I can't talk more than a whisper.
Some people can't do this or they can't do that. They make excuses. Here's why I can't do this. Here's why I can't do this. You get that needle in your larynx and then you run a social media empire. How is that possible?
Well, and I think that's funny because I'll have people say, well, I can't do a video. I'm scared. I'm nervous. And I think, I can't even talk sometimes. So it's so scary. And God bless people that have lost their voice for life, because it is, the lack of being able to communicate is probably one of the scariest things forever, ever. Like, imagine if your son wasn't feeling well and he couldn't communicate to you what was going on. It is one of the scariest things. That's part of the reason is I want to get my message out while I can, because who knows? I got this very young. Who knows down the road? My husband might love it, but down the road I might not be able to do it, or maybe I can't get the shots for some reason. So it's so funny because I want to tell people, listen, if I can do live videos and do tutorials and run YouTube with a speaking disorder,
Right.
then you can do it. Your voice is beautiful. Please go do it. I would die to sound like you, So I encourage them to just go do it. But yourself, most of my family and friends don't even notice that when my voice is bad. And I don't notice it either, except for it's painful.
Right.
But my friends and family, and they'll even, I'll be out with girlfriends and I'll order at a restaurant and the waiter will, ask me questions. My friends will just speak for me. They've just gotten used to it. They know what I'm saying. Just like we adapt if we have someone who can't communicate. So you just got to keep going.
I see a lot of makeup here. How long does it take for somebody to put their makeup on?
So if I need to run out the door, I wear three things and I'm done in 5 minutes.
Okay.
If I really, it all depends how dressy and how fun and how bold you want to go. An everyday look takes me 5-10 minutes, 3-4 products. It's just variety and options. Girls like to change shoes.
Okay.
Girls like to change colors.
I understand
We
that.
match our eyeshadow to our shirts. So it's options. I probably wear 3 or 4 products a day. That's it. I probably have more skincare than I do makeup. Because you want to, just like health and fitness, you want to take care of yourself from the inside out. And the more you take care of your body, the better your skin is.
I love that you talk a lot about being who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So who is it? How do you want the world to know Jenny Lynn?
That's a good question. Well, I hope the world sees that I'm a happy, loving person. I want people to see that they can overcome bad things and overcome hardships, and that there is more out there, and it's okay. Sometimes we're made to feel shame if we want more, but more doesn't have to be things. It can be, and it can be travel and experiences and love, and it can be so many different things. But I want people to know that it's okay if you're quirky, if you're weird, if you're short, if you're tall. You know, I want you to be able to be that. Like, whatever you are, be that as loud and as, like, vibrant as you can. You know, like, my husband sometimes has no idea what to do with me. But he wouldn't know what to do without me.
Right,
you know? You just need to be yourself and love life and enjoy it. And because if you're, like, pushing down any part of you, you're not going to enjoy life to the fullest that it's meant to be. You know, like, the talents you have and what you do and what you share and your books you write, nobody else is doing that. And if you would suppress that because you were embarrassed or what if someone doesn't like it, I do weird stuff all the time and people certainly don't like it. But it takes one person to like it, one person to need it. Like, you never know who's going to pick up this book and it could change their life. And it takes one person to like it.
Powerhouse Beauty,
Yeah,
I like it.
that's all that matters.
Something I find very interesting about you is not just one, 2 times, you left the corporate world and just said, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
How do you have the courage?
It took a long time. I'll be honest, I was at the same job since I graduated college and for 14 years. I never worked anywhere else. I worked at one job, and that was just, it was so scary to leave. Like, what if you don't like your other job? What if you don't find another job? What if you don't make enough money? Like, there's always so many what ifs. And probably sometimes, and this is what I talk about quitting, like quitting stuff that's bad for you, because it's just a paycheck. And that's what we have to remember. It is just a paycheck. People, especially, people, you're always going to find something else. And a lot of times, too, I think it's our own boundaries we put on ourselves. Because you could get work at Target or a gas station or a restaurant. There is always something you could do till you found the perfect job. But I know, like, what I did, I would tell myself, I'll just keep working until I find something else. But I wasn't actively looking for something else because you work all day, you're angry, you're in a bad mood, you come home and you just want to have a wine or a box of wine, you know, or go to the gym and pound it out.
Right.
You don't want to look for something else. So, unfortunately, the first job I left, it took some very bad things happening at my job to the point where I was like, this is ridiculous. You need to leave. But at the same time, I had enough side business that it was doable. So last June, I left my first career, 14 hours. Like I said, the only job I've ever had since college. So that was very scary. And I worked from home all summer, last summer, which was awesome. But the hard part was, another main reason for me to stay home was to raise our children. And unfortunately, last summer, I lost our first child. So after the summer for working from home, I wasn't as motivated because my reason for being home was no longer there. Plus, I'm kind of a people person, so by the time my husband came home from work and I bombarded him because I was alone all day, we decided I needed another hobby, you know, something else to do besides my other 3 businesses. So I found another job, running a gym, which being a health and fitness coach was perfect for me. But our goal was still to have a family. And unfortunately, we lost another child. So at the time I lost the other child, which is when I started to always start these other businesses because I need to throw myself into something. Right. So I threw myself into a gym, which was perfect for me. I loved it, but the hours were insane. Running a gym is a full-time job, and I get it. It's evenings, weekends, holidays. And I realized come Easter, I hadn't seen my family since Christmas. You know, how was I going to raise a family if I didn't have time to even be home to make one, you know? So I sat down with my husband. He said, Jen, he said, I'm not worried. You do enough extra. You got to do this. You loved it. Like, it wasn't, I always say, you know, yeah, it's a job, but it's not going to work. You know, or, you know, however you want to say that. Like, I loved it. It was not working. I was hanging out at the gym. I was helping people. So I'm working all the time. And again, I love it, but we're getting away from my ultimate goal, which is to have a family and be with my family. I'm finally happy. I found a good relationship. I want to be home. I want to have a family. And this was not conducive, you know, to that. So we decide that I'm going to now quit my second job I've ever quit in my life. I never thought I could quit her, but it's awesome now. So April 30th was my last day at the gym. And that Thursday, and I just think, like, I always tell you how, like, the universe has set things in place, you know? So that Thursday, we had an appointment with a fertility doctor.
Okay.
Because we've been struggling for 3 years.
Don't make me cry.
Well, I cried. So the morning of that appointment, I called my husband. I said, Jeremy, we had to cancel that fertility appointment. And he was like so upset because it took us forever to get it. And he's like, why? What's going on? Did they reschedule it? And I said, no, we don't have to go because we're pregnant. So I just think things fall into place. And when you finally do what's right for you and take time for you, good things are going to happen.
Jenny Lynn, always putting herself out there.
This is the first time I've told anybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Online beauty maven, social media guru, you're doing it all. So what is success to you?
Success at the end of the day, even though these are my businesses, if at the end of the day, one woman reaches out to me, Facebook, message, text, phone call, and I, get them all the time that just says, Jen, you made me feel good about myself
Nothing
today.
better.
Jen, I walked away from something do you know how many people message me and say, Jen, because of you, I quit my job today? Like, I'm forcing people to quit all over the world.
Jenny Lynn, how to be a quitter.
How to be a quitter. Or a woman that says, I said yes to myself today. Or I said no to someone else. Or, just anytime a woman sends me these messages and say, Jenny, because of you, I wasn't scared to go talk to a guy, or I wasn't scared to, with my disability, I went and did XYZ anyways, or I went outside of my comfort zone, or I had a girl that just went and bought herself a new BMW. Like, I don't need a BMW, but because she said, because of your leadership and your motivation, I achieved one of my goals, that makes me feel good at the end of the day. I can go home with a full heart, knowing that I help someone else achieve whatever their goal is.
Jenny Lynn, very, very cool stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
This is Dominic Damaski, Discovering Inspiration. We had Jenny Lynn on today, and she empowered us. If you like the message, please like it, share it, subscribe to it. And until next time, if you get knocked down, get back up and keep swinging.